going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is ASA Studio channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to retouch your images in Photoshop. So I'm going to be going straight to the point, so I want you to follow me as fast as you can. The first things first, let's take a look at the photo. I'm going to zoom in, and you can see that the lips, the upper part of the lips and the down part of the lips have different color. So this is how I'm going to fix that. I'm going to grab a new adjustment layer, the hue and saturation, and then I'm going to increase the hue. I'm going to take and cancel that. Let's invert the mask, pick up the brush tool, and then paint over where we want the effect to be. I'm going to decrease the size and then paint over as fast as we can. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, so now that we have it, I'm going to go back to the hue and saturation, and then we could bring this back and adjust till we have something similar to the top part, so just like this. And then let's mess around with the upper part, so something like this, and we can increase the brightness too to make it the same as well. Alright, so let's take a look at before and then the after. That fixes that. We could also increase the saturation a bit till we have the same color. And now that we have that, we could go ahead and grab another hue and saturation adjustment layer again, hue and saturation, and this time I'm going to use the hand tool, and then let's zoom in and select some places that's not the same. So now we have this slider over here, and we can increase the hue and then mess around till we have proper selection. So now that we have this part of the selection, I'm just going to make this 0, and then we could mess around with the color too and take it down or take it up. Let's take it up. So now that it's the same, we could bring back the saturation and also increase the lightness. Alright, so now I'm going to group these two together, and we can see from afar the before and then the after, how we make the two uniform. Alright, so let's go to the next point. Let's create a stem visible layer, and this we're going to be doing frequency separation with it. So for you to do the frequency separation, let's Ctrl J twice to duplicate the layer, and then name this one texture and one color. So I'm going to turn up the texture layer, select the color, and I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it just a little bit more. Let's take it by 2.2, so we have more effect when using the mixer tool brush. I'm going to turn on the texture, go to image, select the texture, go to image, apply image, and then I'm going to select the color, and under the multiply, the blending mode, I'm going to go to subtract, and I'm going to hit OK. So we've separated the texture and the skin color, and so that we can work on them both. Now change the blending mode of the texture. You all know how to do frequency separation. If you don't know how to do frequency separation, it's already on the channel, so you can grab that tutorial. I'm going to pause the video now and I'm going to quickly do it. But if you don't know how to do frequency separation, let me just show you what you do. For the color, you are going to use the mixer tool brush, and for the texture, you are going to use the clone stamp tool. So let's start with the mixer tool brush. I'm going to decrease the size of the brush, select the color layer, make your settings, brush settings like this, and you can now start blending the colors together. Just right click, left click, and start blending. You can see what is actually doing to the the image. Is blending the skin tones together. And for the texture, you're going to pick, if you select the texture, it makes you work on the texture, but you're going to use the clone stamp tool, and then you can decrease the size of the brush and hold Alt. When you hold down Alt, you select a place and then click over it, and then you can fix those places just like that. It hides the blemishes. So Alt, left click, and then left click, release the Alt, and then left click. Now you might wonder why this is not cleaning. Select the color layer and then go to the mixer tool brush, and when you blend, it's gonna be gone just like that. And for this one too, same thing. When you do it, it's gone. So that's how. So I'm gonna pause the video, and then I'm gonna come back. Alright, so I'm done with the frequency separation. I'm going to group it together and then turn it off and on. You can see it before and then you can see the after, before and after. So what I just did, I just actually blend the skin colors and the skin texture. Now there is more to do, but before that, let's create a stand visible layer, and without that we can't fix the next thing we want to fix. So after creating a stand visible layer, let me tell you what I want to fix next. Now if you take a look at this side, it's unsaturated compared to the rest side, which is saturated, like under our chin, and there are some colors that are not also blending. This place is also less saturated, so for us to fix that, I'm going to create a new adjustment layer, which is hue and saturation. And after creating that, I'm going to go to select color range, and I'm going to pick that side. Let me drag this out. I'm going to pick this side, hold down shift and pick more of those side, and you can see that those places are selected. So it's also selected those places. Now I'm going to increase the fuzziness. Let's take it down a little. From this one, I guess it's okay, but I can take it and leave it around 10, and then it's okay. Now for that, I'm going to open up, and what we want to fix is the saturation. Now if we increase the saturation, take a look at how it's actually blending with the the skin, but this is too much right now. I'm just going to take it up, so you can see the smooth part is not actually blending. So let's take it back a little, and we're going to be using a lot of hue and saturation. So I'm going to grab another one and take the hand to select this range, and let's increase. So we're going to see that it's different, and let's shift the slider till we have those areas selected alone. Now we have it like this, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit 0 0 0, and I'm going to try to blend the color to match each other. Let's take it back and increase the saturation. Let's decrease the lightness, or increase the lightness a bit. Okay, so let's work on that. I'm going to leave it by +5, and I'm going to decrease the opacity. Let's decrease the opacity by around that. Okay, so let's group the two together, and let's turn the before and then the after. I'm going to zoom in and see the before and then the after. Now it's not very effective unlike before, but we can work more on the lips when we get to camera raw filter. So let's go to camera raw filter. So here we are in camera raw filter. Go to the basic tab. Let's use the white balance tool and click on the shade. I'm going to undo that till I get the real color I want. Okay, so that's -5 and -6, so I just click around this side and it gave me, or you can click on the teeth, but I don't want that. I want the one I like this one. Now the main thing, I want to balance the skin first of all, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to go to the color mixer, and under the color mixer, this yellow, I want the yellow to look, go to the hue tab, and I want the yellow to look more like the orange. So I'm going to take it backwards, and then the orange matters a lot, so let's try and make the orange look the same, more like the yellows. And we can go to the saturation, and this should be easier in let me say capture one. So I'm going to take the orange backwards a bit. Let's go back to the hue and bring up the yellows, and go to the saturation of the red. Let's take it up, and saturation, the hue, I'm going to take it towards this side to make the lips pop out the more, so something like that. And go back to the saturation. Let's fix the red. So if you take it upwards, you're going to see the impact the more. So I'm going to leave it somewhere around 19, and go back to the hue. The oranges, we still want to work on it, so take it forward, just because on the calibration side we are going to adjust that back. Alright, so take the yellows towards the yellow, and I'm sure there's no other color except this one, which is the purple and the magenta. So let's take it towards the purple and the magenta, go to the saturation, and let's make those colors just pop out a little. I'm going to go to the luminance. Now the luminance of the orange is not the same with that of the yellow, so we could decrease the luminance a bit, and let's see, decreasing the luminance of the orange. Alright, so just a bit. Now that we have that, I'm going to close the mixer. I'm going to go to the basic tab, increase the shadows. Let's take it up a bit, and let's bring up the highlight. And I'm going to take down the white and the black also. So let's take the blacks backwards, and let's give it some texture, just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to go down to the calibration, and under the calibration I'll take the red forward, and I'll take the blue primary backwards. Let's see how that fixes the image. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to adjust the green primary so we have what we want. So that's too much. So somewhere around here looks okay to me. I'm going to close it, and then we could check before and after. So I guess it just brought out the color of the image a bit. So I guess the saturation of the red is too much. So let's go back to the basic, and I said the basic, the color mixer, and then let's adjust the saturation of the red, which is too much. Let's bring it back a little, and there we go. There's no much difference with the brightness. So let's hit OK on the keyboard, and now the brightness has been fixed. You can do one more frequency separation, and your photo is done. So let's group everything together, and then let's see before and the after. So this is before, and then this is after. I'm going to zoom in. We have this is before, and then this is after. So thank you guys for watching. See you in our next video. Once again, this is ASAS.